What up, it's Shankster94, and welcome to Resident Evil Remake Weapons Review. Now, if you've been my subscriber for a while, then you know that this is actually a remake of an earlier video I had. The reason why I'm remaking this weapons review is because now with my HD capture card, I can make this new one look better than the old one. The old one looked alright, but I noticed that it was heavily interlaced with lines in the video because it recorded in an I format, I guess, and I'll make sure I don't repeat that same mistake in this one. But anyway, I'm just remaking it for better quality and quality of content, basically. The style of my weapon reviews has not changed since I last done a weapon review. It will go just the same. I will test all weapons with both Chris and Jill, since in a male and female's perspective, they hold the weapons differently and shoot them differently, sort of. That's the way it's always been. And in my previous version, I tested the weapons on enemies with Jill, but in this remade version, I'm going to test all the weapons on enemies with Chris this time. So there you go. Alright, so you know how it's going to go. So enjoy Resident Evil Remake Weapons Review. Alright, now to get started with the weapons review. And of course, the first weapon I always test out in all my Resident Evil weapon reviews usually is the knife, or in this case, the survival knife. A mid-sized, lightweight survival knife. Jill's personal protection knife used for close encounters. Alrighty, now let's look at it before we test it out on an enemy. Alright, now for the hardest part of any weapon review of mine, testing the knife on a standard zombie. Alright, as usual, I'm terrible at keeping count of how many slashes it takes since I'm so focused on trying to stay alive. But anyway, I'll look it over and give the amount to you in text right here. And I don't know this game as well as other games, this remake anyway, so I can't really give you my best estimate of how many shots it could depending on where you're at in the game. So for this video, I'm going to drop giving you estimates. In this one, I'll just give you how many shots it takes to initially defeat whatever enemy I test the weapon on. Alright, that is it for Jill's survival knife. Alright, Chris and Jill have different knives. So here's Chris's knife. Carbon reinforced alloy blade with serrated edges. Chris has been using it since his days in the Air Force. Alright. Now let's see if Chris's knife has any damage difference than Jill's. Alright, like a retard, I still didn't count how many slashes that took, so once again, I'm gonna have to put it in text form. Alright, what's cool about Resident Evil Remake is you get these things called defense items. And what they're for is if you're grabbed by basic enemies, if you're fast enough, your character will use one of these defense items and get them off you and leave them open to attack. So there are 3 defense items total in this game. There's the dagger knife, there's the stun gun, and there's the flash grenade. Both Chris and Jill use the dagger knife. Only Chris can use the flash grenade, and only Jill can use the stun gun. So first, we'll look at the dagger. By stabbing this dagger, you'll be able to protect yourself and escape from hostile situations. Alright, now I can't test this without an enemy, so I'll go straight to the testing with both Chris and Jill. Abby. Alright, that is it for the Dagger defense item. Now for Chris's personal defense item, the flash grenade. A self-defense item, normally used to disturb the offender's vision. No shit. I said exactly the same thing in the previous version of this review. Alright, now let's test this on a zombie, Cerberus, and Hunter. Explosion! Alright, that is it for the flash grenade defense item. Now for Jill's personal defense item, the stun gun. A self-defense item. You'll be able to take down an assailant, leaving him disoriented momentarily. Alright, now let's test this out on a zombie, Cerberus, and Hunter. Positively shocking. Alright, now that is it for the stun gun, and that is it for the defense items. Alright, another cool thing about Resident Evil Remake is they introduce a new enemy to the series. They're called Crimson Heads. Basically, they're enhanced zombies. They're twice as dangerous, they run faster, and they have more attacks. They could still bite you, but they also scratch you. Now, one thing that's cool is, there is a way to prevent zombies from becoming Crimson Heads. You require this, a fuel canteen. When you defeat a zombie normally, when he just falls to the ground, nothing explosive, and then you use this with the lighter, then you burn the zombies' bodies, and that will prevent them from becoming Crimson Heads. Another way to avoid Crimson Heads is by decapitating the zombie through a critical headshot. Alright, so I will show you what the fuel canteen and lighter does to a zombie. So light 'em up, up, light 'em up, light 'em up, I'm on fire! Alright. You could also burn already formed Crimson Heads, but I don't know if that prevents anything. Although I have seen before where I passed an area with Crimson Heads, and when I came back, they were hunters. I don't know, I don't think zombies turn into hunters, but anyway, you can burn both zombies and Crimson Heads. So, that is the fuel canteen.